Our live storm watch coverage does continue. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. A few things to look at across the country. We have an approaching nor'easter for you in Atlantic Canada. Ahead of that, special weather statements in place. And of concern is New Brunswick, Fredericton and north. We are looking at heavy amounts of snow, some strong winds coming through for Nova Scotia. This does look like rain for Saturday into your Sunday. Now, chilly air in southern Ontario at this point as people are heading out for trick-or-treating. We are seeing the potential for a rain-snow mix funneling down towards places like Caledon, Kitchener, Waterloo, and Guelph tonight. But for trick-or-treating, probably just remaining as a cold rain. Here's that nor'easter in the east. That's when it really is going to transition into snow for New Brunswick. It's going to be a rain event for you in through Newfoundland. And as for Ontario at this point, trick-or-treaters not getting the best weather, but as we head into Saturday, it is going to clear out, just cooling down across southern Ontario and some strong northerly winds. But this is our bigger story in the east, as you can see here. It's all rain for Nova Scotia, starting as rain in New Brunswick, but then changing over to that snow. Some places could get up to 10 centimeters. Likely that's going to be places like Woodstock. Over towards Perth Andover, it could be under 5 centimeters of snow. And then as we look to Monday, it does start to clear out for you, but it's going to be a wet weekend. Through to Sunday, this is the snowfall totals we could see here. Anything in white seeing the most, 15 to even 25 centimeters of snow. And the western shores of Newfoundland also the potential to be seeing some flurries. Now, it is Halloween tonight, after all. Let's talk more about the Halloween forecast. And before that, we'll check in with Mike Arsenault, who's been outside today. All right, nice work out there. Great costumes that we're seeing tonight. Stay with us, we'll see more. As we look at the radar returns, anything in green is the rain, but you can see here the blue. It's coming closer, and it will sink down towards cottage country tonight, extending towards Caledon, over towards Kitchener, Waterloo, Guelph, and up towards the Kawartha Lakes. But in downtown Toronto, it will remain as rain. Coming up, we'll check in with Deb Mediechka in Calgary. We'll find out what she's dressed up as tonight. So trick-or-treaters definitely need to have a snowsuit as part of their costume. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. Speaking of that snow in Sudbury, I found some other pictures on Twitter that show the very blizzard-like conditions, as people are calling it. Of course, as the season goes on, it's going to get much worse, but having fun in the snow. This was our reporter, Chrissy Van, who was out there making Halloween snow angels. And speaking of Halloween, we got some great pictures coming in on Twitter today with people in their costumes. Look at these adorable kids all dressed up, ready to go. This was behind the scenes here at the Weather Network. Our employees were dressed up here. There was a bit of a contest going on. This crew was best group costume, 80s picture, as you can see here. Now, as we look at our big weather stories across the country, I have to mention the east. And for you in Atlantic Canada, dry tonight, but that's going to turn around. We have a nor'easter approaching, which could bring parts of New Brunswick up to 10 centimeters of snow. We'll get to that throughout the program. And you can see right here, we've got that snow in northern Ontario and the potential for snow mixing in through cottage country tonight. But the best weather tonight is southern Alberta for trick-or-treaters out there. And that's where we find Deb Mediechka, who's all dressed up. Nice and scary looking in Calgary. The weather's not so scary, though. It's great out there tonight.
Nicole, so we're ready to have some fun, and you can see nobody needs a coat or a parka, so we're pretty lucky here in Calgary.
That's right. Thanks so much, Deb. Awesome costumes there. We'd love to see yours. Send them to our website, theweathernetwork.com, or I'm on Twitter at Nicole Karkic. We'll check in with Deb again to see how their trick-or-treating goes tonight. But for you in Alberta, here's a heads up. There is a snowfall warning in place in the south. Cardston, Crow's Nest Pass is included. This is for the potential of 10 centimeters of snow, not tonight, tomorrow night. So this is through to Sunday. And yes, Calgary, from that mild air you're seeing right now to snow on Saturday night into Sunday. And that extends over towards southern Saskatchewan as well. So Saskatoon, for example, will be seeing under 5 centimeters. Swift Current, 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. So this system moving through, and we've got that cold air already in place through the prairies tonight. Regina feeling like -1, Brandon feeling like -3. Stay with us. Coming up, our storm watch does continue. We'll talk more about where we're seeing snow tonight in southern Ontario. About 10 centimeters around the Nickel Belt region. Temperatures hovering around the freezing mark today. And for southern Ontario tonight, if you're going to be in cottage country, we're already seeing a rain-snow mix around places like Parry Sound, extending to Collingwood. And there is a special weather statement in place extending from Kitchener, Waterloo, over towards Caledon, east towards the Kawartha Lakes region, because we could get mixing tonight and some snow. Best weather tonight, southern Alberta, Calgary, great conditions for you. And it's cold in the Maritimes. But for you, tonight it's dry. Tomorrow that's going to change. There's this nor'easter moving through. It's going to bring rain first all across the maritime provinces in Newfoundland, but that rain is going to quickly change over into snow for parts of New Brunswick. So you can see here Saturday evening, that is the rain. The pink is the mixing, and we're going to start to see that mixing happening Saturday night. But Sunday is when we could get up to 20 centimeters of snow in some places. So you can see here this white area north of Fredericton, over towards Perth Andover and Edmundston, likely in the under 5 centimeters of snow. Stay with us, and also remember that this weekend we fall back 1 hour, sitting around -4 at this point. The snow has moved out of Sudbury, but we're seeing it shifting south towards places like Parry Sound and Collingwood, and we're going to see some mixing tonight if you're going to be in Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph, Caledon, over towards Newmarket, Vaughan, extending over to Kawartha Lakes and north. But if you're going to be in downtown Toronto, down towards London, Sarnia, it looks like you're going to be remaining as cold rain. So that's the story in the east. Also, we'll talk about those nor'easter moving through Atlantic Canada in a moment, but let's focus on the beautiful weather in the country. That's in southern Alberta. And for the city of Calgary, we have beautiful weather and some scary costumes with Deb Mediachka dressed up. Deb, I'm wondering, have the kids been afraid of you yet out there?
Yeah, they have, despite not having my teeth in. Yeah, a little bit scared. And you are Doc McStuffins, aren't you? Yeah. And can you wave hi to Mummy? I know she's watching. Pretty warm right now.
That's right. And usually, Deb, I know that you're great with the kids, but in that costume, I think it's tough. She was so cute, maybe a little scared of the blood on Deb's face, but a great costume out there. We'll check in with Deb again. Snowfall warning in place in the south, Cardston, Crow's Nest Pass as well. 10 centimeters of snow beginning Saturday night. So we're going from this beautiful balmy weather for you in southern Alberta to snow, and that will include Calgary. Be a big drop in temperatures happening through tomorrow, and then Saturday night picking up under 5 centimeters. That, of course, won't really stick on the roadways, but certainly will on the grass. And notice here south of Lethbridge getting a bit more. This then shifts into Saskatchewan, as you can see here. Saskatoon under 5 centimeters, Prince Albert 5 to 10, and this will be through to Sunday. So really beginning Sunday morning into your Monday, and then it shifts into southern Manitoba. So it's just continuing to track east. Currently, it is 18 degrees in Lethbridge. That's the hot spot in the entire country. Winnipeg +1, feeling like -2, but it's nice and dry out there for you. Hey, if you're headed out tonight across the lower mainland, you do need to bring an umbrella. We're seeing just some spotty showers, and that's the case in the interior as well. Coming up, more about the nor'easter moving through Atlantic Canada. Couple of things to talk about across the country. We are in storm watch as we give you a heads up in Atlantic Canada for a nor'easter moving through this weekend. So here it is. It's going to get really stormy. 2 low pressure systems meeting up, and that will bring places like Perth Andover, north of Fredericton, and even Fredericton itself some snow this weekend. And then we do have some chilly weather in southern Ontario for tomorrow. And at this point, tonight into tomorrow, we're seeing a bit of a rain-snow mix in places like Barrie, Cottage Country, over towards Caledon. There's that nor'easter in the east, and for the west, we get some showers returning on Sunday. So Vancouver, enjoy your break day tomorrow. Let's take a look at this video right here. A very spooky Halloween. If you don't like snow, well, you didn't like today. This was east of Sudbury, where you can see the Halloween costumes getting covered in a bit of snow. It's a white Halloween, I guess. Not uncommon for this time of year, but a surprise for many. That's a sign that you have to get the winter tires on. It's just around the corner. Saturday evening, this is going to be the rain, anything in green. The mixing is in pink, and then through to Sunday. So really Saturday overnight into Sunday, we're going to start to see snow. Bathurst, Fredericton, Perth Andover, over towards St. John, Woodstock as well. Pretty hard hit with the potential of this snow, again, moving in Saturday night. For Ontario, the mixing tonight is going to be this line from Windsor to London, over towards Caledon, Newmarket, Vaughan's included, Kingston. Downtown Toronto, probably just staying as cold rain, but this is the amount of snow we'll get. Really under 2 centimeters will be on the grass as you wake up tomorrow. Coming up, we'll focus on the west, where the weather's good tonight, but that's about to change. There's a snowfall warning in place. We'll talk about that coming up. Our live storm watch coverage does continue. We'll talk about where we're seeing the most active weather in a moment. But first up, this was the snow earlier today in Sudbury. We saw it coming down pretty hard, so you can see the pumpkins out there on the snowmen. So a creative way to lump in some fall into winter. This is a great shot. This was captured at Elliott Lake. Was sent to our website, theweathernetwork.com. We take you next to other shots in Sudbury, having fun in Sudbury right here. And then next up, Halloween, of course. It continues. We've got some great pictures on our website of people's costumes right here. Race car driver, that's absolutely adorable. The cookies already getting the sweets on. And this is behind the scenes here at the Weather Network. Our employees all got dressed up, and you can see Bride of Frankenstein. She was wearing these contacts that were super cool and very scary. And speaking of scary, we do have some active weather moving through Atlantic Canada. That's going to be developing tonight into tomorrow. So for this evening, Halloween, looking great, just cool. Where we do have the messy weather here, southern Ontario, some cold rain out there if you're in Toronto, and up towards Cottage Country, we're getting a rain snow mix. But as we dive over towards southern Alberta, that's where the weather is fabulous to be outdoors, to be in the costumes and showing them full out. And that's where we're seeing Deb Mediechka. Deb, love the costume tonight, especially the blood streaming down your face. Well, great. Have a good time out there and try and find the houses that are doing the chocolate bars. That's the full chocolate bar. Sometimes there's always one house that's doing it, isn't there? And then you go back every single year hoping for it again. All right, snowfall warnings in place in southern Alberta. Cardston, Crow's Nest Pass up to 10 centimeters. This is not beginning tonight. Tonight it's too mild for the snow. We've got a system moving in tomorrow, and that will even bring Calgary after your balmy weather today up to 4 centimeters of snow Saturday night into Sunday morning. So a big change coming for you. That does shift into southern Saskatchewan. As you can see here, Saskatoon under 5 centimeters. This will likely be Saturday evening into your Sunday as well. But it's going to continue through the day on Sunday and then move into Manitoba. Manitoba tonight, it's dry, but yeah, it's cool. Winnipeg feeling like -3. Coming up, we'll talk more about the big nor'easter moving through Atlantic Canada and who is seeing snow. Happy Halloween. Our storm watch coverage does continue. We do have a storm moving into Atlantic Canada for the weekend. It's a nor'easter, and it has the potential to bring some places over 20 centimeters of snow. Let's take a look at Saturday, though. And if you want to get outside and go for a run to maybe work off some of the candy that you were eating on Halloween, one for you, one for the trick-or-treaters. That's how it goes, right? Well, for Vancouver, how about this? After 22 days of rain, either a lot of rain or a trace amount, we're getting some sunshine and dry weather for Saturday afternoon. Get out and enjoy it. There is some snow moving into southern Alberta for tomorrow night, even up towards Calgary. Across the Prairie provinces, it's going to be just cool tomorrow, but dry. And it's drying out in southern Ontario. Our biggest story is going to be in the east. So Saturday, it's a rain event across the east. It changes over to snow as we head into Sunday. And that's going to bring places like Fredericton over to Woodstock, Bathurst, Edmundston. Rain snow mix turning over to snow. And some areas north of Fredericton getting the most snow with this event. Now, as you can see here, it's really quite dry until we head into southern Saskatchewan, where you're going to be seeing some snow on Sunday. And for BC, the rain does return as we head into the end of the weekend. So do enjoy Saturday while you can. Looking at Saturday evening here in the east, this nor'easter, those cold northeasterly winds. We're familiar with these storms in the east coast. It's going to be the rain event for Nova Scotia, upwards of 50 millimeters in parts of central Nova Scotia. And then Sunday is when it's the snow event. And this is going to really just be New Brunswick. There are widespread special weather statements in place for the east for this already. It moves through by Monday, but Monday still some lingering showers across Newfoundland. This is the snow we're going to get, so note the heaviest amount listed in white. We'll talk more about our stories across the country, but right now, let's head out to Mike Arsenault. He's been in southern Ontario earlier today, all suited up in a great costume. Certainly is cold tonight, and it'll be cool tomorrow, too. Daytime high in Toronto, 5 degrees. Yes, some showers, but it does clear out by the evening. Sudbury, but it's shifting south around Parry Sound in through Cottage Country. Anything in blue is the snow. Down towards the green, that's rain. But we are going to see, as temperatures fall through the overnight, a rain-snow mix in places where there's a special weather statement in place. So that includes places like Caledon, Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph, over towards Newmarket, the Kawartha Lakes as well. Atlantic Canada, dry for tonight, but that's going to change into the weekend. There is a nor'easter approaching, and that will bring some places in New Brunswick Brunswick, north of Fredericton, up to 10 centimeters of snow. Let's travel all the way to southern Alberta, where the weather is pleasant for today. Very balmy conditions. Not a snowflake in sight, but we do have some scary costumes out there. Deb Mediechka is joining us. And Deb, I'm wondering, what's your favorite chocolate bar?
Oh my gosh, that's like asking me which is my favorite child. That's impossible. There's far too many to list. I love them all. I know that tomorrow we could be looking at snow here in Calgary and the rest of southern Alberta, Nicole.
That's right. Thanks so much, Deb. The ups and downs of living in southern Alberta. We're certainly getting some snow. That's right. And a snowfall warning in place. Cardston, Crow's Nest Pass, up to 10 centimeters. Towards Calgary, not in the snowfall warning, but you will see about 4 centimeters Saturday night. So after tonight, it's going to cool right down. Grab those shovels again. Pretty scary, right? Moving towards southern Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, about 5 centimeters of snow. This will be likely coming in through your Sunday, and then southern Manitoba Sunday into Monday. That's when you're going to get the snowfall there. Now, tonight in the Prairie Provinces, temperatures fairly average for this time of year. Winnipeg sitting around the freezing mark. We're feeling closer to -3, though. Swift Current is 7 at this point. Lethbridge still quite balmy at 15 degrees. And as we look to BC, if you're headed out tonight for trick-or-treating, you do need an umbrella across the lower mainland. We're seeing some showers there, just a bit of drizzle, not persistent rain, but in through the interior, north of Kelowna, yes, we're seeing some showers, but notice how it lifts. And for Saturday, it's going to be the first dry day in Vancouver since the 9th of October. So we definitely are going to have to enjoy that out there. The East Coast this weekend, you're going to get pounded with strong winds, northeast winds, as well as rain in Nova Scotia, rain in New Brunswick, changing over to snow in New Brunswick for your Sunday. So it's a messy one. Stay with us. Our Storm Watch coverage does continue right here on the Weather Network. A few storms to follow tonight. One is just building and developing in the east, and that's going to impact you in Atlantic Canada. A nor'easter on the way for this weekend could bring places north of Fredericton up to 20 centimeters of snow. And speaking of snow, anything in blue is seeing just that. Sudbury got a helping of it earlier. It shifted towards cottage country, and it's going to be some cold northerly winds overnight tonight. So places like Oshawa already getting a bit of a rain-snow mix. We'll see that around Newmarket, Vaughan, Kitchener-Waterloo, Guelph, extending towards the Kawartha Lakes as well. So that's the active weather in the east. As far as Alberta goes, though, we're seeing some really pleasant weather, especially in the south, and that's where we find Deb Mediechka, who has been trick-or-treating tonight. So, Deb, what can you tell us about this evening? All right, leave the bad news up to me. Thanks so much, Deb. We do have a snowfall warning in place, and that's south of Calgary. Yes, this is for Saturday night, so it's hard to believe that we're going to be pulling out the shovels after the balmy weather we're dealing with today, but that's exactly what's going on. Up to 10 centimeters, Cardston, Crow's Nest Pass. And yes, Calgary in on the action as well. Under 4 centimeters will fall Saturday night, and you can see that will extend up towards Edson and Jasper too. And then southern Saskatchewan, you will start to see some snow for Sunday, through the day Sunday, and then Manitoba, you get it into Monday. So it just keeps shifting east. Temperature-wise, currently it's 15 degrees in Lethbridge. You've been the hot spot in the country today. Swift Current 7, Regina's around the freezing mark with the wind chill. And for Winnipeg, if you're out there this evening, it's feeling like -3. So yeah, wearing some coats over those costumes this evening. Now, if you're headed out this evening in the lower mainland, Abbotsford, Vancouver, just bring an umbrella just in case. We are still getting a bit of drizzle there, but it is clearing up through the overnight. And Saturday, a nice break from all the wet weather we've been dealing with for days, but it's followed by a new system coming in on Sunday, and that's a big wet weather maker. And we shift to the east, where the nor'easter is going to be your big story this weekend with snow in New Brunswick. It's all rain for Nova Scotia. Coming up, we'll talk more about the nor'easter moving through the east and look at more Halloween costumes. So our Storm Watch coverage does continue. There's a nor'easter moving into Atlantic Canada this weekend, and we had a good helping of snow today in northern Ontario, especially through the Nickel Belt. Take a look at this, a spooky Halloween. You've got the skeleton on top of this snowmobile right here. You can see this is in Burkes Falls from earlier today, sent to our website, theweathernetwork.com. Another shot right here, the snow and the zombies in it. And I think the person said, I'm sure these zombies are pretty cold. We've got some beautiful shots here of these very creative pumpkins that people were carving. And another shot right here, Halloween spirit. The kids all suited up and ready to go. Now, as far as the active weather goes for the east, it's a quiet night tonight. That's all going to change for tomorrow as a nor'easter approaches, pulling in some cold northeast winds and snow in New Brunswick. And there's that snow continuing in Ontario. This is some of the worst trick-or-treating weather we have in the country. As you can see, there's rain steadily continuing across the greater Toronto region, and some of that's going to change over to snow tonight. Not in the downtown core of Toronto, but certainly in the outskirts around areas like Whitby, Oshawa, up towards Vaughan. But let's head now to southern Alberta, where trick-or-treating is a go. It's great out there in the city of Calgary, and that's where we find Deb Mediechka, who has been very spooky, and I'm wondering what's going on there right now.
Well, I tell you, the later it gets, the scarier it gets. The weather, though, is not scary. It is absolutely gorgeous. And sorry, Nicole, I'm going to let you deliver that news.
Thanks so much, Deb. Yeah, that's right. I'm here with the bearer of bad news. I'm like the Grim Reaper tonight. We've got a snowfall warning in place for southern Alberta, Cardston, Crow's Nest Pass. This is for tomorrow night. Of course, not tonight. Tonight, it is balmy and warm. Enjoy it. Now, Edmonton today, you got up to about 6 degrees for the daytime high, so not as warm as Calgary, which reached 16. But this is our snowfall forecast. This takes us into Sunday. So tomorrow night, Calgary about 4 centimeters. South of that, a bit more, and then it continues east for southern Saskatchewan as we head into your Sunday. Temperatures tonight in the prairies a little bit cool. Coming up, we'll talk more about the nor'easter that's hitting Atlantic Canada this weekend. We have a special weather statement in place north of the city of Toronto, but extending east towards places like Caledon, Kitchener-Waterloo, and places up towards Kawartha Lakes. You're going to see a rain-snow mix tonight. So as we look at our big current systems, there's that low in southern Ontario. It's been a messy night for trick-or-treaters. And for you in Atlantic Canada, while it is nice and quiet tonight, there is a nor'easter on the horizon, and that's your weekend story. We're going to be getting up to 20 centimeters of snow in some parts of New Brunswick. But first of all, this system starts as rain all across the east. Nova Scotia, it remains as rain for you. And for New Brunswick, it's Saturday night into Sunday when it's going to transition over to that rain-snow mix and eventually snow. Western shores of Newfoundland also getting some snow. Notice how it does clear out on Monday, but you have to have those shovels ready tomorrow night. Get them on guard. Saturday evening, you can start to see that mixing happening north of Fredericton. All of that green is rain, and you can see the green here towards St. John's, Newfoundland, but Deer Lake, higher elevations in Newfoundland on the western shores, definitely it's going to be a snow event for you. This is pre-dawn Sunday, so there's that snow coming in. There is a special weather statement in place for New Brunswick. We could be getting upwards of 20 centimeters of snow, generally north of Fredericton. So think places towards Woodstock, Perth, and over, getting the most snow. Speaking of snow, blue is snow on our radars, green is rain, and you can see the steady rain showers have been really persistent tonight. Niagara Falls, Hamilton, you name it. Unfortunately, this will continue through the overnight. It clears out for your Saturday, but it's cooling down, and it's going to be a chilly day, but the sun does return. Pre-dawn hours of Sunday, there's that mixing going on. Fort Erie is not going to be seeing the snow, but there's the mixing happening tonight. It's not going to really stick to the ground, but on the grass when you wake up, if you're in any of these areas, particularly cottage country, you will see about 2 centimeters of snow on the grass. For tonight, we have a special weather statement in place north of the city of Toronto, but extending east towards places like Caledon, Kitchener-Waterloo, and places up towards Kawartha Lakes. You're going to see a rain-snow mix tonight. So as we look at our big current systems, there's that low in southern Ontario. It's been a messy night for trick-or-treaters. And for you in Atlantic Canada, while it is nice and quiet tonight, there is a nor'easter on the horizon, and that's your weekend story. We're going to be getting up to 20 centimeters of snow in some parts of New Brunswick. But first of all, this system starts as rain all across the east. Nova Scotia, it remains as rain for you. And for New Brunswick, it's Saturday night into Sunday when it's going to transition over to that rain-snow mix and eventually snow. Western shores of Newfoundland also getting some snow. Notice how it does clear out on Monday, but you have to have those shovels ready tomorrow night. Get them on guard. Saturday evening, you can start to see that mixing happening north of Fredericton. All of that green is rain, and you can see the green here towards St. John's, Newfoundland, but Deer Lake, higher elevations in Newfoundland on the western shores, definitely it's going to be a snow event for you. This is pre-dawn Sunday, so there's that snow coming in. There is a special weather statement in place for New Brunswick. We could be getting upwards of 20 centimeters of snow, generally north of Fredericton. So think places towards Woodstock, Perth, Andover, getting the most snow. Speaking of snow, blue is snow on our radars, green is rain, and you can see the steady rain showers have been really persistent tonight. Niagara Falls, Hamilton, you name it. Unfortunately, this will continue through the overnight. It clears out for your Saturday, but it's cooling down, and it's going to be a chilly day, but the sun does return. Pre-dawn hours of Sunday, there's that mixing going on. Fort Erie is not going to be seeing the snow, but there's the mixing happening tonight. It's not going to really stick to the ground, but on the grass when you wake up, if you're in any of these areas, particularly cottage country, you will see about 2 centimeters of snow on the grass. Let's head next to Calgary, where no snow for today. In fact, daytime high got up to 16 degrees. South of Sudbury towards places like Barrie, Parry Sound, seeing some mixing, Orangeville at this point. And there is a widespread special weather statement in southern Ontario across parts of the Greater Toronto region, Vaughan, Newmarket, extending over towards Caledon and then east towards the Kawartha Lakes for snow tonight. Yeah, about 2 centimeters of it, mostly on the grass, but it's going to be cold. Another story we're talking about this weekend is this nor'easter that's forming, and it's going to be pulling in quite a bit of snow for New Brunswick as we head into Sunday. So first of all, this does start off as rain for Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland, but then as temperatures cool Saturday night, it does transition into snow, and the hardest hit areas for snow are going to be Fredericton North, extending towards Edmundston, Bathurst, Perth, Andover, Woodstock too. Overall, Nova Scotia, you're going to remain as rain, and we could see some mixing in Newfoundland on the western shores and higher elevations as well. So pink is the mixing, green is rain, and for our pre-dawn hours of Sunday, that's when it's going to really start to change up and bring us that snow. Now, where else we're seeing snow, of course, is in parts of Ontario, where we do have the potential to be seeing tonight some mixing in through cottage country. The Greater Toronto region is going to get hit the hardest, but for downtown Toronto, it's probably going to remain as rain for you, just a cold, raw rain. But for the snowfall, under 2 centimeters, generally speaking, but north of Muskoka, 2 to 5, not out of the question. And speaking of snow, that's what's going to happen to Calgary and south of that as we head into the weekend. Hard to believe after Kasha, places in Alberta today have been dealing with the best trick-or-treating weather out there.
I know, it was 19 degrees in and around the Lethbridge area earlier today. That was the hot spot.